This is the video that I don't like making. But I remember just last week I made a video where I said this thing is not all fun and games. And there were people that were talking about, dunking on the world's richest man. And I was looking and saying, do y'all not see what's going on? I get it. It's, once in a while you can throw cheap shots, but this is not the time for that, because what's going on is Ubisoft as a company has its own challenges that it's facing. It's all fun and games, but people now at the Ubisoft Leamington studio are going to be looking for work. There's some uncertainty, just as Ubisoft had said, while the big dogs have gone to secure and hedge their own future. It's those that are on the ground floor that are going to pretty much have to, deal with the challenges. I remember making that video, guys. I remember some of you were telling me, man, this is just sour grapes. That's what you said to me. That sounds like weird sour grapes, Mr. Greater Gargdon. Shout out to you. But I was trying to tell y'all, dude, that this whole Elon Musk thing is just so weird. You said to me, L-Take, Twitter admin did more advertising and PR than Ubisoft themselves. Really? Really? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Now, what are we seeing? And this is when, I don't know if y'all watched Laura Fryer's video where she said, and she basically broke down the corporate letters that they wrote that got leaked. And she said, this is all corporate speak for trouble is coming. These guys, Ubisoft Leamington, they basically have worked on Far Cry 5. They worked on the Starlink game. They worked on The Division. They worked on The Division 2. And to be very honest, even if you're, at this point, I don't really care whatever game I was looking forward to. That's always secondary. You know what I mean? It's always secondary. But this is a very interesting place that we are right now. And this is where we need to be paying very close attention to with all what's going on in the gaming industry. There are winners and there are some that are actually going to feel the pain from all what's going on. And you know what's going to happen? Like I said before, I said it's the folk on the ground game that are going to be suffering, while these execs are going to get in their private jets after making whatever deals will benefit them and fly away. I mean, the interview that was done by Steven Tortillo with that exec that, was talking about why they shut down the Saints Row game studios. They had that interview on the guy's private jet. Like, they literally had the interview on his private jet while developers and the studio got closed. You feel me? So there is a side to say that our teams have got to thrive and we've got to make games to ensure that our teams thrive, and we got to make decisions to make sure that our teams thrive. And keep in mind, From Software just raised its own developer salaries this year. They ain't clowning or dunking on anyone. They're focused on making games. From Software is literally going to be punching out game after game after game. And from what we've heard, they have games lined up, ready to go. That's going to at least do 2 million units, and expenses aren't that high. And I'm talking about like if they made something really, really like just basic, simple. So what's going on here? What's going on here is that we seem to have actually lost focus on how we hold these companies accountable, and we've indulged them so much. So their leaders and leadership have not necessarily taken signs early, because for the most part, they've been allowed to pretty much remain padded and have basically, made their teams feel like everything was okay until the situation gets dire. And what do? They hop off. They leave that thing to keep going when they should be holding their teams and saying it's time for you to lock in. These waters, they are turbulent waters. Instead, they leave them all to their own devices. And here they are. Just last week, Ubisoft is on Twitter, and their Assassin's Creed account is tussling with the richest man in the world because, he's not a gamer and it's easy to dunk on him as if that's some kind of and I told you, I said, they will sell a few copies, but that's not where we are. That's not where we are. Now, some people say, oh, yeah, some people have said they probably deserve to, be in the situation that they are. I mean, it's not like an unconscious decision. Somebody made those decisions. But here's the thing: person who made those decisions, or the people who made those decisions, they're financially well off. The people who those decisions are affecting their lives right now, they have to pretty much deal with the uncertainty, which is a very sad situation. I'm pro dev, super pro dev. But you've got to actually put it out there and say, man, if a publisher is not focused on anything that's going to make its development teams thrive or move forward, then you're going to be seeing this kind of stuff. And when it's time for them to actually dial in and locking in, if you see them basically gallivanting and doing, what is unnecessary or unimpactful, then you must call it out. If not, they'd be the butt of the joke. And people basically are in a situation now where they have to pretty much go ahead and figure out what they're going to do. Laura Fryer's video was very enlightening in terms of how she pretty much went ahead and put all of what was said in those memos that were sent out. And it really does make sense from anybody who may be looking at it from that perspective. I recommend that anybody who's actually paying attention go ahead and watch that, because this is a very interesting thing. I guess in my last video where I talked about how, they handled the Division community and all that stuff, some people took it to, seem like, oh, I was pouting because of whatever. Dude, there are so many games to play, man. If a Division game never comes out, it's not going to be missed because it never came out. You know what I mean? Like, this is the market where there's just so many games. Like, you can go back and visit your backlog and never, ever finish them. You feel me? But the lives of people now that, could have benefited from good decision making has been negatively impacted. I was saying it back then. They went ahead and they left a lot of their franchises that could have really been profitable for them and went ahead and chased this Hollywood thing with Star Wars and Avatar. Doesn't seem like they paid off. They've launched a lot of games in the last few years. But what have they been launching? And then somehow they got street cred by basically dunking on a rando that doesn't game. And people were basically saying, oh, yeah, it seems like a win or whatever. They sold more copies. My guy. These guys are far beyond selling more copies as the remedy for what it is that they need. And I said that. And God forbid anything worse happens in terms of their other studios and their other team members who right now still are waking up to this news and thinking, crud, an entire Ubisoft studio, just, that's it. It's going to be wild out here. Talk to me in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.